Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. While downgrading India's credit rating a couple of days ago, Moody's had expressed deep concern about the continued stress in India's banking and financial sector. The reality is that despite a number of measures being taken, there has been little improvement in India's banking system, and things, according to us, remain as bad as they were. Despite the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, which was touted as a panacea for all the NPAs in the system, despite that, NPAs have not diminished, they have not been resolved. The recapitalization of banks was meant to replenish funds so that they start lending further, they become stronger financially. A few lakh crores have gone in the process. We've achieved little out of it. Banks remain financially weak. They were put in PCA. The bankrupt public sector banks were put in PCA and nursed back to health. No magic came out of it. Banking mergers were meant to ensure that banks become strong and efficient and better managed. We are seeing no change coming out of it. And the net result is that NPAs continue to mount. These measures have achieved very little. And with the continued slowdown and the lockdown, matters are only worsening for banks in India. There is no activity going on at the moment. The economy has been in a lockdown, and thus, on the surface of it, things look to be good or things look to be stable in banks of India. But the reality is otherwise. If you scratch below the surface, what you will see is that with little lending taking place, banks prefer to deposit their money with the RBI than lend it to the retail borrowers. With little lending taking place, there being few good takers for loans, there being a crisis in many sectors of the economy, business closures taking place, and the moratorium that is continuing until 31st of August, all this happening means that not all is well with banks in India. When the moratorium lifts up, we will realize that there is going to be a sudden and swift build-up in a large way of NPAs in the system. We have not resolved the existing ones, and the new wave will come in. A further deterioration and a further slippage in the financial condition of banks is certainly imminent with this expected upsurge in NPAs. CRISIL thus says that banks' NPAs will rise from the present 9% of advances by banks to 11.5%, which is a disturbing figure. And Fitch says that because of this, banks in India will need fresh capital of anything between 25 to 50 billion dollars, which is almost 3.5 lakh crores plus. That is the amount of capitalization which will be needed again. We are just witnessing a situation where every year more and more public money is being pumped into the banks with little avail. Public finances in India seem to be cursed with bailouts for bankrupt banks, and they proved to be a black hole for public money. In the last couple of years itself, about 3 lakh crores of public money have been pumped into banks in India, and despite that, we don't see any great improvement. At a time when India's public coffers seem to be empty, and we don't even have enough money in order to fund a good stimulus and adequate stimulus for the economy, we are in a situation where we need to keep pumping in money in banks in order to bail them out. This needs to stop somewhere. This has been going on for years together, and an estimate says that in the last 15 years, collectively, the government has pumped in over 10 lakh crores in banks in India. That's the kind of money that's gone down the drain. One proposal or one news which has been floating in the air is that the government is considering and seeing how to privatize certain public sector banks. After the mergers having taken place, a few banks like Punjab Sind Bank, Indian Overseas Bank, Bank of Maharashtra are said to be in the government's eye in order to privatize them, in order to see whether privatization will be the solution. The finance minister, while announcing the so-called stimulus package, had said that the government is proposing the entry of the private sector in even strategic sectors, and in those sectors, except for four public sector players, more private sector players will be allowed. Maybe with this thought in mind and with the concern that this black hole of public finances into banks need to be plugged somewhere. The government seems to be debating whether banks can be privatized and whether that would be the solution. It is also said that the government is considering of giving banking license to industrial houses which have not been given so far as a matter of policy. Of course, that would come with a cap on the holding that the promoters would have in the banks. But maybe if banks are promoted and managed by efficiently floated and managed private sector groups, perhaps there might be some solution. And thus, the government is also said to be considering giving banking licenses to certain private sector groups. The question is privatization of public sector banks really a solution? Because we have seen such a rot taking place in private sector banks also. We have seen corruption in private sector organizations also. We have seen recently the case of Yes Bank, which had actually collapsed because of all the misdeeds of Rana Kapoor and his gang, and the government had to bail it out. We've seen that there was corruption that took place in the likes of ICICI Bank. We've seen that financial statements of ICICI Bank and Axis Bank too had got window dressed. And if we move to financial institutions, there's nothing good to talk about what happened in ILFS and DHFL. Thus, it's not that private sector banks are some paragon of better management or how things should be. Maybe the rot is more in the public sector banks, but the rot of misconduct, the rot of corruption and mismanagement also permeates private sector organizations. Thus, privatization simpliciter is not the solution. The question is, then what is the solution? How do we ensure that public funds are not misused by the public sector banks and they are better managed? According to us, the solution starts with a very strict regulation, oversight and audit of these organizations. If banks like ICICI managed to have that kind of corruption, even somewhere Reserve Bank of India was lax. It was in 2016 that RBI had given a clean chit to Chanda, and it is only in 2018 that it realized that that clean chit was not justified. Somewhere regulation has been weak, oversight has been weak. It thus starts with a strong regulator and rules that cannot be compromised. The second is accountability. Accountability of the banker, accountability of the regulator, accountability of the auditor, accountability of the babu who oversees these banks. Unless accountability is not stringently pursued, we will never see a situation where banks are well managed or they manage and handle public funds with responsibility. With accountability, of course, goes punishment. Those who are accountable and they have been lax or they have compromised their duties, whether deliberately or otherwise, they need to be punished and they need to be sidelined. Punishment and accountability is what, according to us, has been lacking in a big way in the management of banks in India. The biggest ill of banks in India has been interference by the Neta and the Babu and the banker getting compromised. This interference needs to stop. It is the top which starts the rot, and the top here started from Delhi. The Neta and the big Babu are the ones who interfered with banks, who ensured that telephone loans were given to their cronies. And if that is not stopped, public money will be wasted, banks will remain a rotted organization. Thus, that needs to be done. We've also witnessed that corruption has taken place in banks in a large way, but adequate punishment has not been meted out. Thus, the corrupt need to be weeded out. The corrupt need to be punished, and they need to be punished with the realization that it is they who have criminally frittered away public money. And unless that is not done, corruption will continue in financial institutions. And finally, we are also seeing very often that bankers have not been adequately trained, skills were missing, and there have been genuine mistakes by them in appraisals and giving of loans. Loans were given by them to persons or sectors who did not deserve it, and there was a deficit in their skills, deficit in their expertise and their training. That needs to be upgraded all the time. We think these are necessary measures in case India wishes to ensure that its banks and financial institutions are strong and responsible. Thus, while the government is talking or thinking of privatizing a couple or few public sector banks, on the other hand, banks are already seeing a situation where their finances are getting shaky. Sectors like hospitality, sectors like airlines, sectors like commercial real estate, where banks have a combined exposure of over 3 lakh crores, are in a situation where they are not going to be able to repay their loans, they are going to default. A default is imminent by this entire sector, and various other such sectors will get exposed after the lockdown is lifted. Banks are already approaching the Reserve Bank of India to permit an across the board restructuring of loans given to this sector, which is these sectors which are said to be over 3 lakh crores. Because if they do not restructure the loans and the borrowers do not pay, there will be another addition to the NPAs, another addition to the mess in the banks. And these sectors genuinely need a restructuring. They've gone in a mess not because of any fault of theirs. So the RBI is being sought by banks to give a general across the board permission to restructure these loans. According to us, apart from such restructuring, the banks will also need permission to give additional loans to these sectors. CARE says that just the airline sector is going to need over 35,000 crores in the next 3 years, along with a moratorium, along with the restructuring of loans. Without that, the sector might just not be able to revive itself. Thus, the weak situation of banks is getting evident, it is building up, and more measures will be needed by the Reserve Bank of India in order to stabilize the situation of banks. Just giving a moratorium up to 31st of August is neither going to help the lender nor the borrower. And as far as the government is concerned, privatization is not the cure-all as far as the banking sector is concerned. And the first cure will have to come from the government itself, which is non-interference by the Neta and the Babu. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
हमारे घरों में भी बच्चे होते हैं जो हमसे प्यार दुलार की आस करते हैं।
हमारा भी जीवन साथी है जिसको हमारे ड्यूटी से घर आने का इंतजार होता है।
हमारे घर में भी एक बूढ़ी माँ है जिनके लिए आज भी हम ही आंखों के तारे हैं।
लेकिन हम हमारे घरों में नहीं हैं। आपकी सुरक्षा में कोई कसर न रहे, इसलिए हम अपने प्रियजनों से दूर हैं।
हम में से ही कुछ तो अब इतने दूर जा चुके हैं कि वो वापस अपने घरों को लौट भी नहीं पाएंगे।
हमें गर्व है कि हमारे कंधों पे मुंबई शहर के नागरिकों की सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी है। हमारे जज्बे और बलिदान को व्यर्थ न जाने दे। इस संकट के समय में आप घर पे रहे, सुरक्षित रहे।
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.